Hello, fellow aspirants. This is me, Dr. Jagti Jagtap, and in today's podcast, we'll be talking about the South China Sea dispute. This is the first of this course. We are beginning a new course in international relations, and this will be the first podcast of the new course. So, let us begin. This is the South China Sea, entire sea. So, these issues are pertaining to these islands, that is the Paracel Islands, the Scarborough Shoal, and the Spratly Islands. So the main cause of concern is China's 9 dash line. So they have put up a line here and claim that this entire area belongs to them. So the countries surrounding these seas, that is the Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, Brunei, and Vietnam, are very unhappy about this. But since China is such a big behemoth or such a big giant power, they can hardly do anything. So they have approached the UN Clause Court of Arbitration, that is the International Court of Arbitration, and that court has given a verdict in favor of Philippines for this Scarborough Shoal at least. So let us now analyze this issue. First, let us understand why this area is very important. This area is home, like $7 trillion trade passes through this area. So that's a huge amount of money, and it is one of the main arteries of the global trade. And what is India's concern in this? There is oil and gas over here, and India, along with Vietnam, plans to drill oil over there. So this is India's concern, and China objects to this area, like India engaging in that area, because it says that if India wants to drill over there, it has to obtain China's permission, not Vietnam's. And this is very important because it is a global flashpoint. Just as in the early 1900s, the Balkans was a flashpoint. Similarly, today this South China Sea is a major global flashpoint between the US and the Chinese powers, because the US wants to rethink its Pacific policy, and the pivot to Asia is being implemented. It is shifting large amount of its navy towards this South China Sea, and even China is asserting itself. So this area is important. Second, it's a precedent setter for Chinese dominance. If we like it or not, China is going to become a global power. So how responsibly it behaves, this South China Sea is a theater where we can understand how China is going to behave in the future times. So what actually is China doing over there? China is constructing artificial islands to bolster its claims over the South China Sea, and it is sending some fishing expeditions. As such, these are not problematic, but in the garb of these fishing expeditions, some military watercraft are also moving. So that is a problem. What has the court ruled in this? It has said that there is no legal basis for China's claim in Scarborough Shoal, and that this 9 dash line has no legal basis. China claims that historically it has a claim, but the UN clause is very clear that suppose this is the shore, only like around 12 nautical miles, that is the territorial waters, and 200 nautical miles from the shore, this is the exclusive economic zone for that country. It is very clearly specified by this UN clause. So what China is trying to do, it is trying to create new islands in this sea so that it can claim the area around it. And what is India's stand against for this ruling? It is a standard stand without much risk. That is, first is India as usual says that the UN Convention on Law of Sea, that UN clause should be respected, but it did not corner China, and this is very important because we cannot afford to do that, because India needs Chinese help somewhere down the line in the NSG entry, and commenting upon this is not India's style, because India doesn't usually comment upon the sovereignty issues of other countries. let us look at the take a quick summary of this issue. So we understood where the dispute is, why is it important, what is China's stand, what is the international stand, and what is India's stand. I hope this was helpful. Thanks a lot. Keep studying.